Hello and welcome back. Today I've got quite an interesting subject I want to touch upon and just plant a seed that this might be something that's going on. This is definitely advanced awakening information that some of the people watching might not be ready to hear, might consider it bonkers. Other people will have heard about it before. It's raised in books by very wise people. I'm going to touch on a few of these things. I just felt inspired to talk about this. I haven't scripted it in any way. I'm just going to hopefully get around all the angles of it, and it should still be quite a short video. It's just a concept I'm talking about here. The other day I was just sitting in my garden. Very simple garden. It's just a little council house. I'm just in the middle of a lot of ordinary people. I am quite an ordinary person myself. I had this quiet moment to myself. I was in the garden. It was a beautiful sunny day, and I was just really admiring the nature. I suppose there's some beautiful trees surrounding my garden. The sky was blue, the clouds were out, the sun was shining. It was very simple, a very simple setting, but I felt elevated in my vibration because of it. I felt that the ordinary situation was extraordinary. There was something else going on there that animated it in a way that you don't always notice when you're busy running about. And it struck me that what was happening was just by calming down and de-stressing and feeling kind of happy and not having any terrible worries on my mind, my vibration was being affected by the beauty of the nature around me, and it was raising up. And in raising up, I was actually slipping over into possibly the fourth dimension, or a sort of parallel experience, a parallel universe, a parallel track to this life. I was shifting my consciousness from the day-to-day place where I spend most of my time, which can be quite challenging and difficult, and there's a lot of stress and strife and problems in my life, and I in these moments, frequently it happens when I'm outside, but it can happen inside, when you just feel a shift in how you're vibrating and what you're noticing, and the ordinary world becomes kind of magical. And I believe it's connected with your energy increasing, and you kind of the denser energy falls away, and you can actually just kiss the next dimension, or a slightly higher vibration, a place where you're headed. We're all working to raise our vibration, and if we can do it, we will have these experiences which seem sort of magical to us, where the magical and the mystical things can happen, where you can see the energy, some people can see fairies, or interact with nature spirits, and these things become open to you when you can just allow your vibration to raise up a little tiny bit. Now, the way I'll explain this, and I hope it comes across clear, is like water. Water can either be ice, solid dense ice, or it can be liquid, or it can be steam, and vibration kind of works like that. Most of the time, we're living in a 3D world at the moment, but I think it's trying very hard to shift to 4D and ultimately move to 5D. D is dimension. So it's like, in dimension is to do with vibration. It's how it's vibrating. In the 3D level, it's very much ruled by kind of old concepts, male, female, black, white, these kind of very structured, biased situations where things have been in place for a long time, and there's been a lot of horrible things happening as one group tries to win over on the others, or have more money, or claim more land. That's all 3D. That's should be gone now. We should be moving away from that into emerging an understanding that we're all equal, and there shouldn't be these crazy disparities between people who have too much and people who have far too little and are dying from the need of basics. So the planet, it's attempting to shift, and all our, as human beings on the planet, are being encouraged to shift with it to a higher vibration. And in these moments, such as I'm speaking about, when you notice the world in a slightly different way, it has a slightly different, it's very subtle, but it's very clearly different when you pay attention to it, when it comes to your notice and you see the world. It appears brighter, the colours are bolder, you feel happier, there's a lightness to it. There's something subtly different when you are vibrating high enough to touch on these other dimensions. And like the ice turning to water, turning to steam, you will physically change. We physically change because we're made of this vibration, and the vibration sets out our physicality. So as we raise our vibration, our physicality will change, and the way we live our life will change, because it won't resonate with us. I can feel myself at the moment, old habits been pulling on me. I'm trying to go back to being vegan. I'm not vegan at the moment. I was vegan. I have been vegan on and off for many times in my life, but I feel a pull to go back to being vegan and to just stop eating the meat and things like that. But also I feel a real pull to be away from the computer a bit more, to be out in the garden, walking in the nature, and sort of physically clearing my space, and being more in the world like that. Now, the other thing you could be doing, you are doing if you shift your energy like this, is you can be sort of crossing over into different versions of yourself. If you read the Convoluted Universe books by Dolores Cannon, she's passed away now, but she has a body of work. It's just undeniable. She has proof of everything that I'm talking about here. She has regressed people, and they have spoken about different experiences they've had in this lifetime and other lifetimes. And we're not talking one crazy person. We're talking, a body of people over decades saying similar things. And the sort of truth seems to be that every time you have a choice in your life, you actually create two versions of yourself for each choice. So in one version you marry someone, in another version you don't marry that person, and your life spreads on like a sort of family tree. It divides, but they run parallel, and they run time is it's a human concept. Time doesn't exist in the spirit world. They can look down onto the earth. Time sort of exists down here for us. These realities are happening at the same time, and you can bob along, you can slip into one almost by accident, depending on how you're vibrating and where you are, and just, I think we slip in and out of parallel realities more than we know. There was one case in a Dolores Cannon book when a woman was walking down her street, and a tree that was on her road was just gone, and there was no stump, there was no sign of this tree, and she'd lived there for years and years and years. There was a tree there, it wasn't there. She came home and the tree was back, and she wasn't on substance abuse or anything. In one reality the tree had been planted and was growing there, in another reality it wasn't. Most of the time, you know, she was in the reality with the tree, but other times, you know, she was if she was in her house and she slipped into that parallel reality, you wouldn't really always know it, because the realities can be very similar. I have had on many occasions, I have lost an item, like keys or some little gadget I needed, or, you know, I've put something down and I just can't find it, and I search where I put it and I remember where I put it and it's not there, and then I go back to it later that day and I look in the place again and it's sitting there, and I believe that I have basically been into a parallel universe, and sometimes I just give up and go, it's, you know, I'll come back to that, because I believe it is in that drawer. It's just I'm in the wrong universe for some reason. I've switched back. Anyway, the thrust of this message is to say to you that you can change the experience you're living in by raising up your vibration, or by focusing on that. You can alter the course of your day. You can alter your mood. I've a few times recently, and I think it's connected with what's going on in the heavens at the minute, because if you look at a lot of places, you'll see that there's a lot of astrological stuff going on at the moment, and it's bringing down some very powerful energies onto the earth to aid it in this process of shifting. So my phone sort of slipped. I'm just going to bob it up again. It's these powerful energies have been beamed down by the universe, by our aliens probably, I would expect, through things like solar flares and something called the Lion's Gate in the grid work, the energy grid work, and it's all been tuned up and raised so that everything is shifting its vibration a little bit, so that we can go with Gaia as she transcends into the next dimension, and she can, what will happen is a lot of the bad stuff on the earth will fall away. Things like war and fighting and famine, and, you know, the monetary imbalance and all of that. These things will just, those things in society, they'll just fall away, and we will have new ways of doing things. We will have food for all, clothes for all, everyone working to support one another. It's almost gone back in time, where there'll be more community, more caring society, less crime. It will be better. But it's obviously, we've got a long way to go. It's nowhere near there at the moment. So these energies have been coming down, they've been shaking us all up, and they can make you feel quite low, quite tired. They can give you like minor physical symptoms, where you're kind of achy or irritable, you know, and that those kind of things are not my normal. I don't normally feel grumpy or you know, out of sorts. My normal state is quite an optimistic, happy person who will, you know, process through whatever comes her way. So when I'm like that, I do notice it, and I think, why am I feeling so grumpy and moody and, you know, out of sorts? And I link it to, you know, there's a full moon, there's this, there's that happening, and I just think, okay, I have to look to my energy, and I have to maintain it and control it in a way that it stops this. You know, I have to raise myself out of this mood that's on me, because I don't want to inflict that on the people I live with, and I don't particularly enjoy feeling that way. I like being happy, so I might do something like go into the garden, do breathing, you know, focus on something like clearing out a drawer, or you know, you go for a bath or a shower, or you take a walk, or you busy yourself doing something that channels your energy in a productive way, or you go and have a sleep. You can do that kind of thing if you're lucky enough to be able to go and have a sleep. Wake up and you'll feel a bit better because your body's had a chance to assimilate things. So I've probably gone off on a few tangents there. I wanted to plant the idea that you can shift your energy from a bad mood to a better mood. And if you do so, then you can touch other realms, and you can be more open to seeing beauty and the magic and the mysterious things that are actually active in our world at the moment in a parallel universe type way. They're all here. We just, we don't, where we vibrate, we can't see them, notice them, interact with them. But if we can raise our vibration, you will start to see magic around you in the world, and you will start to feel different. You cannot feel crappy when your vibration is high. It just falls away. The closer you get to these higher vibrations, the more bliss you can access. And to encourage you to try and check in with your mood, or how you're feeling in the world, what you're noticing in your world. And if you're noticing a lot of dark, heavy, depressing things, or you're behaving or feeling down or depressed or heavy, then it's within your power to change it by just taking some time out, just step out of your life for a moment and do some energy raising techniques, or focus on, go very much on your intuition here, because your intuition might point you to what needs addressing in order to improve your mood or whatever, and follow your intuition, so you can mentally be asking yourself, what do I need to sort here? What's making me feel this way? And it could be something simple like a very cluttered table, or some rubbish that needs taking out, or a weedy patch in your garden, or something silly like that. It can be a very simple thing, but it's interfering with the energy flow going on around you, and it's lowering your energy. Or you might need to drink water, or look at what you're eating, that type of thing. Obviously, if you're abusing yourself in some way with too much drink or smoke or drugs or whatever, if you're not loving your own body, that can be a big factor in why you're experiencing dips in your mood, or if you're around toxic situations or people, that's very common too. So it was really, I know I have wandered and waffled quite a bit there, but I also want to introduce these ideas to you. Energy can be shifted. There are multiple planes of awareness going on at the same time, and you can choose which one you experience by taking your own energy in hand and adjusting your life or what you're doing, either in the short term or the long term, and pulling yourself into these higher vibrations, so that you can experience life in a much more joyous, happy way. And I hope I've explained that. I hope it doesn't freak you out too much, and that you can maybe accept some of what I'm saying, that there can be other versions of your life going on at the moment. I've had kind of visions in my mind's eye of how past lives and parallel lives and future lives, they're all going on simultaneously, as we live our day. So we're just this little speck, but our consciousness is linked by energetic strands. I tried to draw a picture of it once to show you, but I can't draw it. It's too many strands, but if we have this linear view of life, and we have this higher self view of being up here, which is not how it is, but you have your higher self, and then you have this life, but it's not, when you were born, the middle, and when you die. It's these strands coming down to different lifetimes, to different versions of this lifetime, and your soul is experiencing thousands and thousands of different lives all at the same time, and they're all connected, and you can access knowledge from any one of them at any given time. Something went really weird with my camera today. I'm going to work on it right now before I make my next little movie. It seems to be sliding. It must be tired. My camera's a bit tired. Right, I'm going to take that as a sign. I'll close there, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. God bless.